I needed real words for YouTube so people could actually find
Anagrams
it.
are real words. If you don't believe me.
I believe that they are, but not when people are trying to like search for MagicFest or whatever.
It'll
YouTube.
pop up. Look, MFGPKC. Like, people know what that means, and if they don't, well, then they shouldn't be wrong.
I don't know. I can't give you this one, Travis. I'm sorry. I love how like you're eating your pudding. I'm trying to take my vitamins, and like I started the show because we're having this argument. Is it not pudding? Is that what you're trying to tell me by holding up your spoon like that?
It's rice, and it's a fork.
Oh, well, who doesn't eat their pudding with a fork and rice? I know you.
Everybody?
I know you. Everybody eats their pudding.
It has sweet and sour sauce in it.
Ooh, fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness. So, Two Trolls in the Brew, episode 141, preparing for MagicFest KC. You had some silly anagrams that you wanted to use.
Abbreviation, anagram, whatever.
Like prepping the number 4 MFGPKC.
Yeah.
Whatever. That doesn't make any sense.
I put a space between each one so everybody would know what it is.
Good job. I appreciate you.
I understand that people probably wouldn't understand if I just put MFGPKC all as one thing. So that's why you put a space in between.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's fine and fair and all and good and all, but I changed it. Subtitle is Burn. Are you playing Burn for Kansas City?
Yep.
What is Kansas City? Is it not standard?
It's standard.
You're going to play Red Burn?
Uh-huh.
The Red Black Burn?
Uh-uh.
I saw somebody else with the Red Black Burn list, and it looked pretty good. Kind of like what we were playing last season on Arena.
Okay.
It didn't look bad. I don't remember the exact list, but it wasn't bad. And your troll card is Orzhov Charm.
Yes.
Did we like fall back in time?
I don't know.
Because we don't have charms right now, right?
True. We don't.
So why are we talking about Orzhov Charm?
Because it won me a game.
It won you a game. It won me a game of the Magical Gatherings.
So I was playing Legacy. And I was playing Black-White Death Shadow. Or Orzhov Death Shadow, whatever you want to call it. And my opponent was playing lands. The Turbo Depths land deck.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to take a mulligan. He mulled down to 5 or 6, something like that. I was on the play my land, and I thought seized him. And I took crop rotation. His next turn his first turn he played Dryad Arbor. My second turn I played my Godless Shrine, and Orzhov charmed his Dryad Arbor. Because one of the modes is destroy a creature, you lose life equal to its toughness. And he was like, he just looked at me and goes, "That's the best Stone Rain I've ever seen."
I mean, situationally, it's okay, I guess.
Yep. And then he proceeded to not draw any lands in his 30 land deck.
Is this up in Kansas City? Or, sorry, Manhattan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think my troll card this week. I'm gonna go back to. Is it Cabal Stronghold?
Mm-hmm.
Turns out that I was trying to cheat people again, and by try to, I mean I guess I did. So I didn't.
Suck.
I'm pretty terrible. So I did not read the card recently.
Judge ever.
Pretty bad. Had anyone called me, like, had anyone even looked at the card either beforehand, I would have like looked into it deeper. But I'm like, this card is sweet. Why is people not playing this card? Like, it gives you a black mana for every swamp you control, and we have shock lands now. So like, I could just play 5-color swamps, and everything's great, right?
In theory.
The problem is it says basic swamp on it.
It's almost like they knew they were printing Ravnica.
Almost. So like, I was showing Remington this deck. I'm like, oh, this deck seems sweet. It needs some work, but it did okay at that tournament on Saturday. I went 2-1. Like, it's good. And Remy reads it and it says basic swamp. I'm like, no, it doesn't. He's like, yeah, it does. I'm like, oh shit. I think I just played a whole tournament and cheated everybody. So now the deck that I worked so hard on at 3 o'clock in the morning is going to have to be disassembled and put in the garbage because that does not work. I was all like super excited to play like black-white control, splashing for bane fires out of the board with wishes.
Speaking of garbage, did Joe ever give you the standard cards back?
I did. I got those.
Okay.
Back. Thank you.
All right.
So yeah, I think my troll card has got to be. I owe those wins back to my opponents. That's probably true. Next
time you play them, just scoop.
Just scoop. I mean, to
hey
be
guys,
fair,
I messed up 2 weeks ago. You win.
Here's the real thing, though, is that I paid for all the prize support for that tournament anyway. Like, I literally did. And we gave the proceeds to our friend Chris, who messed up his leg real bad. We talked about him last show.
Yep.
So, like, I already feel like I lost. Like, it was bad.
I was helping someone. I'm such a loser.
Exactly. It's like I was helping people and I try to cheat everybody unintentionally. Like I did the two things I hate doing more than anything. Oh my gosh. So literally the only line of this podcast is building a deck for GP KC.
Mm-hmm.
Which we don't even have GPs anymore. They're MagicFests.
Well, the event, the whole gathering, which they should have just called it the gatherings.
Right. That would have been much better. Magic gatherings.
Yeah. Well, especially since there's already actual Magic Fest where people perform magic. So anyways, the events are called Magic Fests, like the whole weekend, but it's still a GP.
Sure. They are still having a tournament there, but is the GP still called GP?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I didn't think they were calling them GPs anymore. I thought once they became Magic Fest, it was just the main event.
That's what it is on the website still, so...
Well, we'll see. Terminology is hard, but I agree. They should have just called it The Gathering. Or, The Gathering, Kansas City, The Gathering, wherever.
Well, I don't think they can call it The Gathering either, because...
Why not?
Well, ICP has a gathering every year, and... completely different types of magic there.
Well, I'm just like, if you go to The Gathering, right, and we look at the very first Google entry, you have a band called The Gathering. So suppose that's kind of confusing. Mm-hmm. But then you have a Christian philanthropy group called The Gathering. I think you could probably get away with something called The Gathering. Were they quickening? No one would ever figure that one out. Why not just call them Magic Cons and be done with it?
I can accept that.
Like, which is the thing that I thought was ridiculous. They just should have called them Magic Cons and been done with it. Wow, so many bangings together over there. Yeah.
So how do you feel about How do you feel about there not being any coverage for GPs anymore?
I mean, didn't they just announce yesterday that Channel Fireball is going to start sending video coverage out again?
Yeah, but are they streaming it, or...
I thought they were going to start streaming the video coverage again. I don't know. I have a mixed feeling. On one hand, it's nice to, when I want to pop down and watch coverage, to have coverage there. Let me double check what Channel Fireball has tweeted while we're talking. But on the other hand, it's so hard for anybody else to get any traction during a GP on their streams.
Oh, well, so don't stream on the weekends then.
Well, which is the prime time for a lot of people to stream. This is the problem, because I look at things in multiple ways. One, I look at things as a player. I look at things as a streamer. I look at things as a LGS representative, right? So, like, for example, we had a tournament last weekend. Again, fundraiser for our friend Johnny, and we had 8 people show up, quick and easy to tournament, right? And then I have a guy complaining that we didn't have a tournament. I'm like, we had a tournament. He's like, but what about this thing? I'm like, well, where were you last weekend? Oh, it was more important to watch a live stream and if somebody opened this beta pack or whatever to come to your Magic tournament. I'm like, people have other priorities on the weekend, so I kind of understand it. At the same time, I would like to see coverage happen more often. It's just a cost that somebody's going to have to eat somewhere. And
yeah, if only there was, I don't know, some sort of $90 entry fee that they could take that from.
That's just it. It's if they could find a way to more adequately cover that cost inside of the tournament. Players are greedy. And this shouldn't be a shock to anybody, but players out there want like 95% of their entry fee to go into prize support, I think. And it's just not realistic. It's just not realistic because there's overhead for things and there's costs and there's paying staff and all these things.
Okay, so my question to you, how much do you think it costs to rent out like a convention hall?
Well, it varies, right? Like, so we were having a conversation a few years ago about GP Las Vegas, and I grabbed that convention center. I jumped on their website. I did the back of the napkin math. I saw that they were paying the judges $1,000 a head. I found out there was like roughly 400 judges there, or whatever. Did the math. The main event at GP Las Vegas that year brought in something like almost $3 million, and it cost Channel Fireball that was putting it on like 1.5 or something.
Okay.
So like they made like $1.5 million on that event. But then I took all of the judges that they supposedly had for the whole weekend there in that math. So like there's some pretty big margins in these Channel Fireball things, but that doesn't include things like the video coverage. That didn't include things like getting the cards shipped to there. That didn't cover things like organizational costs. Like, I don't know what those things cost. But again, when you're talking about $1.5 million on a weekend for one event, I feel like they could probably make some wiggle room for paying staff.
Yeah.
Do things for like video coverage. Even if you're talking about hotels, you're talking about like you provide hotels, you provide flights, you provide a reasonable fee, say what, $10,000 a person that's on the coverage doing the booth. Let's say you have 3 talking heads, so you're talking $30,000 for paying your talking heads on the event. Equipment is very expensive. So you're probably talking about the occasional lump sum cost of like, you could probably pay some people out there a reasonable fee. Say you eat up $500,000 on the first one a year, right? Let's say $500,000 a year goes to being able to supply high quality GP coverage for equipment, gear, travel costs, etc. That seems like a reasonable thing for me, but
so
a lot of people don't.
So my thing is, let's just say, like the average number of GPs is like around 2,000 to 3,000 people.
Sure.
Average.
Again, we'll call it 2,000. Like we'll hit the low end.
Yeah. So just let's go the low end, 2,000 people. That's still $180,000.
It is.
And roughly 30,000 of that is prize support.
It should be more than that.
Well, you got 10 for first, 5 for second, and then like
but they pay down to like the top 34th or whatever,
Yeah, but those people only get
or
like
64th.
yeah, but those people only get like $50 or something.
I thought like it was still pretty reasonable to the like top 32nd. Isn't
I don't know.
it?
I haven't been in
I don't know.
forever.
I haven't gone to a GP ever. I'm just again talking about what people reported. I know like we've had a couple of guys get into the money and they're like $120 or $400.
Yeah, so it's like $120 isn't worth it. Like $400 would be worth it to me because that would at least cover entry fee, the time you spent there for like at the hotel and food. Like it wouldn't cover the travel cost, but I mean, at least with the travel cost, you'd be like, oh yeah, I went to
I mean,
if you're from somewhere else, like, oh yeah, I went to Seattle for the weekend.
yeah, like the idea of a GP though is that you're spending that entry fee for the fun of playing the competition
No,
and the opportunity to play well and get rewarded.
you're really just playing for the opportunity to get rewarded. I don't care
See,
about the competition. I just want the money.
and that's the wrong attitude for this kind of stuff. It's like watching a movie, but you're watching
Why?
a movie
Do you ever
for
go to like
18 hours in the weekend.
Mhm.
Like that's supposed to be the idea is that the thing that you're doing that's fun is playing with people that you don't get to play with.
Well, if I was going to watch a movie for 18 hours, I'd just stay home and watch the movie. If I wanted to play with friends, I would stay at my LGS and play with friends. The reason I go to GPs is because I want money.
Well, I would figure that you'd be better off than just staying and having eight-man tournaments at your LGS all weekend long.
Yeah, but they can't get me $10,000.
I mean, what are the odds that you're going to get $10,000 anyway? That's only going to go to one person out of 2,000 people, and that's if that person runs hot and doesn't fumble and get unlucky.
Or if no one catches them cheating. But no, like the only reason I go to GPs is because, well, number one, I want to go to the big cities sometimes. Number two, I want to get paid. Like there's no reason for me to play Magic competitively unless it's for money. Like play at my LGS, I'm playing for fun. If I just want to watch people play, I'm not going to go to a different city to watch people play. Like that's the reason I don't go to sporting events, because if I'm watching them, why not just do it at home? And that way I can be like, "Oh yeah, I have my phone right here streaming the game, and I'm here playing a different game on my laptop." So it's like, to me, it's just kind of pointless to go to a GP unless you want money.
See, and I would think the idea of the MagicFest is that you're trying to have this fun-filled event with all these things going on. It's like going to Gen Con or any of these other conventions where you have all these different things going on, side events, whatever. You can play the formats you like to play. You can play in the event that you want to play in. You might get your cool sign-up playmat. You might do well day 2, do some stuff. Like you're paying for the experience of playing. Again, not a person who goes to GPs for a lot of the reasons you just mentioned. But at the same time, it shouldn't be about getting the dollars.
Then what's the point?
It should be about playing and having fun, like going to a movie. Like you're paying for the entertainment value.
Well, I can be entertained at home for free.
You could, but a lot of people want the entertainment from playing the tournament. The idea, Magic is a game. You play it to have fun. We are competitive creatures, so we play it competitively to win because we get extra Skinner point value from winning.
Play it competitively to get money.
So what part of Magic is fun for you?
When my opponents lose to my BS.
Okay. So why wouldn't you just play your BS at GPs?
Because the whole point of me going to a GP is to get money.
Yeah, I think this is a lot of Spike. Like, if you're looking at Mark Rosewall's psychotropic profiles, like, I think you channeled your inner Spike when it comes to going to GPs.
Yeah, because that's where the competition is.
Oh, isn't the real competition though further down the line at Pro Tours and
No, not really.
invitational-based tournaments? Like, these are just like really big Friday or really large Friday Night Magic type things.
It's all the same. There's really not anyone who has more skill than anyone else once you get to that level.
Once you get to a GP, anyone can show up to a GP. I could go with you to the GP.
Anyone can show up to a PT.
To a Pro Tour?
Yeah.
I mean, not really. You have to get some sort of, there's a barrier to entry for GPs or for PTs.
I know a dude who went to a Pro Tour that I beat him all the time.
But he managed to win when it was important to get qualified to get to the Pro Tour. I mean, there is obstacles there. Where the obstacle for a GP is, do you have a credit card? And can you make it?
Yeah, but I mean the obstacle to a Pro Tour is like, well, at least it was. I don't know. I didn't even bother reading what they put down on their website because it was just like a bunch of nonsense. So before it was, you don't even have to win a GP. You win the PPTQ to go to the regional. Regionals are generally small, so you have to beat a small number of people there that maybe won a PPTQ from a small tournament. And you win that RPTQ and you go to the Pro Tour.
Sure.
And it's like, that's not any more competition than a GP.
Well, the idea is theoretically that from that previous system, right, is that the average person there at the regional is somebody who has a higher play skill than someone who randomly luck-sacked its way in, which there's going to be those, right? You're going to have people who randomly get in.
I went to an RPTQ with a deck I've never played before.
Right.
How is that any more competitive than going to an LGS?
Ideally, the people who make it in there, it's still another hurdle. It's another hurdle to get you there. Whether the hurdle is the play,
hurdle is like a curb.
But it's still there. It's more than getting to a GP. Going to a GP literally is, can you pay the entry fee and show up on time?
Isn't that the same thing as a PPTQ? Like, can you pay the entry fee and be there on time?
Yes.
I mean,
then you had to go from the PPTQ to the regional. Or
which
now
could be in the same city.
Just straight to, sure, it could be, but not for most people. And now it's just go to a PT again, go to a qualifier again, which is going to be back to the way it was. So you'll probably have like 500 people. It'll probably be this big deal. People will drive like 5 hours to get to one.
I don't know, because to me, the RPTQ that I went to, 5 of the players there played at that game shop regularly. So to me, they went to the PPTQs in the city that they were living in to go to the regional that they had also already consistently played in. And so, like, to me, it's just, do you have a credit card? Can you show up on time? All right, you're in.
Yeah, but I would imagine those people are also some of the more highly skilled players in that area to consistently have gotten themselves in that position.
Unless it was just a group of friends that were just like, all right, well, we both made it to the finals. Might as well. Yep, you got it. I can't win this one.
Okay. Well, that still means that they were good enough to get to the finals.
Unless it's like a small tournament.
Well, even if it's a small tournament, you're getting there. Like, you still have to play some rounds of Magic to get into the thing.
So essentially, that just means that anyone playing like an F&M, if they go 3-0 with their random jank deck, hey, That means they're good enough to get to the PT.
I mean, if somebody goes 3-0 in their jank tournament, and then that jank tournament feeds into another tournament that also is like 3-0 because it's super tiny, then yeah, those are the obstacles that were put in place for that particular situation.
But that doesn't mean it's good competition.
I mean, but the idea is that it should be filtered in good competition.
Yeah, but it's not.
Well, that's the reason they got rid of it, I guess, huh? I don't know. I agree with a lot of your points that they are points, but I don't necessarily think it's incorrect to assume some higher level of skill. Because if I look at the players that in this area that were hunting for their PTQ wins to qualify for the regionals, they were going to tournaments every weekend. They were traveling, sometimes hitting 2 tournaments or 3 tournaments a weekend. Like we were doing our back-to-back, our double PPTQ weekends, right? And those people would go to Manhattan, play 10 hours in Manhattan, find some place to sleep, come to Salina, play in ours for like 8 hours, 9 hours, whatever, and then go back home, work on Monday, and then go out and hit the grind again on Saturday. Like, those are people who are putting in the time and energy. They're playing all week long. They're working on it. And some of those players got their invitations and some of them didn't. And these are the people that I would consider some of the best people that I know of in Kansas. And
why didn't they just play online?
Some of them do. A lot of them do. But they still enjoy, they get pleasure out of playing pen and paper Magic with an opponent across from them. Instead of having like 6 people sit around them and be like, all right, all right, guys, let's do this PPTQ online. Let's do it. Let's play this Mox. Let's get me Pro Tour qualified.
Why would they have to sit in the same room?
There's a large number of people who do that. Why? They don't have to. They could be remote, I guess, but time delays are time delays. I don't know. I think you got a little bit extra cynicism today, is all I'm saying.
Why would I ever do that?
I don't know, because you're awake.
Oh.
I'm interrupting your breakfast.
I woke up at 7.
Well, I woke up early too, but I don't get to eat until 2. When do you get to eat?
Whenever I feel like it.
This is shenanigans, sir. Shenanigans.
This is my 3rd meal of the day, and I still have 8 hours to go.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. What else do we have on our show notes? Building the deck. Actually building the deck. That was it. That was our main point on the podcast. We didn't even get to it yet. Look at you with your sidetrack goodness.
I've never been sidetracked.
You are sidetracked. You sidetracked syphilis once, I think. So what are you looking at for GP?
I think it was chlamydia.
You sidetracked chlamydia once?
Yeah.
I dated a girl named Chlamydia once.
What a pretty name.
She was hot. She was a redhead. That's a thinker joke for those of you out there who got it and are laughing right now.
Yeah.
All right. So what are you thinking about building for this MagicFest?
For the GP, I'm planning, like the subtitle says, it's going to be burn. So, really doesn't have any thoughts behind it because it's a burn deck.
That's not fair. There's a lot of thought needs to go into a solid burden deck. Like, are you going to run the wall?
I don't know.
Are you going to play Niv Mizzet?
No, that's too many colors.
2?
Yeah.
Niv Mizzet's like the best burn card out there.
No, I'm playing 4 Machino Pyromancers, 4 Lava Runners, I think 2 Dismissive Pyromancer.
I like that.
2 Flame of Keld.
I don't know. I still like Flame of Keld, but it's kind of lost a little value town for me.
Well, that's why there's only a 2 of.
Okay.
4 Light Up the Stage.
See, that's part of the reason why a lot of people like to light up the stage. I'm still on the fence.
2 risk factors,
Okay.
4 runway steamkins, 4 shocks, 4 lightning strikes, 4 wizards lightnings, and 3 experimental frenzies.
So no skewer the spectacle, the
Yes, skewer the critics.
skewer the critics.
Yeah.
Fires in the main.
No, Banefire's in the side for the control matchup, but I can't. I think I can't do the math on. That's 12, 16, 20, 24, 26, 30, 22, 34. It would either be 40 for 3 of them or 41 for 4. And then 20 lands or 19 lands.
Well, I don't know if you want 19 lands if you're running both the Wish, or not the Wish, the Browbeats and Experimental Frenzy.
So 20.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Havoc over here says Gates! Exclamation point. Gates is a solid deck right now.
I do love the gates, but I want to go fast. It's the only thing that it's one of the few things in Magic that I enjoy is how quickly can I end the game.
I get that. I'm just trying to figure out how to kind of go from there because I don't know. I get those modes, right? Like I have 2 big switches. I have let's play the slowest, grindiest, most agonizing way to win type deck. And then I have
Sonic the Hedgehog.
as quick as we can. Right. It's like, so I have 2 decks right now in standard. Okay. I have one and a deck that I recently threw in the garbage. Decks in standard. Where one was that essentially mono black control splashing for various cards, which I'll have to try to figure out whether or not I can even rebuild this deck or not. And then the other deck I have is like mono red goblin combo is what I'm looking at. It's actually red black because I am splashing for Judas now. But basically, it just ran like the goblin prospectors, the various rabble master type guys, and the things that like make 2 goblins for 1, give them haste, make them cheaper, all that stuff. And then it kind of like powers out into these fast little weenie guys that either get bigger or get sacrificed to make more bigger things later.
Now, are you doing that red black with Judith?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's the only black card in the deck is
only non-goblin.
There are some other non-goblins, but she's the only black card.
Okay.
I'm also running 2 of the Phoenixes.
Which one?
The Rekindling Phoenix.
Okay.
And then there's a few burn spells, but mostly just like shocks and the skewer the critics to get things out of the way. But yeah, I really like the way Judith kind of makes things happen. My armies now, like a lot of things are 1/1s, whatever. We'll just block those. But then when suddenly they become 2/1s, and then all of a sudden when they die, they do another point of damage. Like that really quickly turns into, well, that's a lightning bolt on legs all the time. So I really like how she kind of makes that magic happen.
Okay. Do you have Goblin Locksmith in the sideboard?
I currently don't have a sideboard for that deck assembled.
Okay. Do you remember what the Locksmith is?
Who makes walls not be able to block, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like that card right now. I also like the other one that if it blocks or is blocked, it does 1 point of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kind of like that guy too right now because there's so many like X1s floating around the format. Just part of the reason I like the Flame of Keld still in that deck too is that if you can fire it off on turn 3, or when it hits its 3rd trigger and fires off, then The Judith kills do a shock.
So why wouldn't you put the Steamkin or the Runaway Elemental in there?
I'm trying to remember if that version of the deck does have the Goblin version does or doesn't. It might, but I'm also running. Currently, I'm running one, but it's going to have to become 2 Goblin Siege Gangs.
Yeah.
I really miss like a Chandra, like a 4-mana Chandra is what that deck kind of wants to finish going over. The Rekindling Phoenix is great, but it is not Chandra.
But you have Sarkin.
What is this? Oh, it makes 2 mana for dragons? That's not what I need.
You filter.
Yeah, but you basically into your hand so fast you don't need to worry about filtering that much.
Yeah, but then
I tell you
what, if you get flooded.
I do have a couple other cards in that deck that are non-goblin actually. The 2-mana 2/2 that spectacles for a black, a red, and 2.
Yep.
You like discard your hand and
draw 3.
Draw 3. I've been playing that guy, and that guy is gross.
Yeah, he's sick.
I've been playing that guy too. And then I've been working on this other deck. This is where I actually do need your assistance. But so the deck that beat my cheater deck last week was Hunter, Native American Hunter. Yeah. I was trying to figure out how to say his name correctly. I think I pronounced it right a couple of times, but then
he's a Pokemon.
I don't even care about saying his name right. I just don't want to sound racist.
He's a Pokemon.
So he had this Bant list that I really liked, a lot of the cards in it, but I wanted to do some minor tweaking to it, and I found a list that was doing really well for me on Arena, and then all of a sudden it kind of stumbled a little bit. So the core of the deck are Growth Chamber Guardians, Growth Spiral, the Krakus, Militia Buglers, Knight of Autumns, Deputy of Detention, Absorbs, Frail Mystics, Wilderness Reclamation, Dawn of Hope, Teferi. Right? And then I have 1 Biogenic Ooze, and I currently have 1 Carnage Tyrant. Kind of want to get rid of the Carnage Tyrant for something else. And I kind of need to add like 1 more something. I'm not sure what it is. I'm getting to the point where Wilderness Reclamation, like 4 of them are too many. I want 1 every game, but I don't want 1 in my opening hand, and I certainly don't want 2 very often. Particularly on Arena. Arena likes to not care about whether or not you hit the control button. It's like, please hit the control button. Oh, never mind. I guess we'll just skip my turn now. Where in in pen and paper, you're like, all right, I'm going to untap my lands. I'm going to make 3 Dawn of Hope tokens. I'm going to untap my lands again. You can go. So I would like to see. Well, I'm terribly sorry that you also have a problem with Wilderness Reclamation dogs. But I don't know. I'd like to figure out something else. I need another mana sink, but it would also be great if it made mana. So I'm like, I don't know.
Simic Ascendancy.
So that would be okay. That was kind of on my maybe list. Also, my maybe list was 2 Dryad Greenseekers to kind of help get that land or get, you know what I mean? Like kind of get things going.
Mm-hmm.
The other one I was looking at is what's the Adapt Mana Dork? Incubation Druid. That's what it's
Incubation Druid.
That was the other one that I'm kind of looking at, like 2 Incubation Druids. Again, kind of give you something that you can spend a little bit of mana into in the mid game when you have it, but then accelerates you into some of this other stuff a little bit quicker, fixes your mana. What I really want is something like a Whirler Maker.
Okay.
Something that all right, I'm gonna spin. What the shit? I'm gonna beat these dogs. Something comes down 3 mana, 4 mana, somewhere in that ballpark, and then costs you like 3 mana. Again, like another Dawn of Hope kind of situation, except something that is either colorless or doesn't rely on a particular color to activate, or maybe relies on the green aspect of it. I don't know. And it needs some sort of spice in here, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, you see the thing about Bant. There's no spice.
There's no spice? There's got to be some spice. There's got to be the spice.
No, because the deck revolves around denying your opponent the ability to do anything, and then you just bore them to death with Nexus of Fates.
Oh, see, I'm not playing Nexus of Fates.
Well, there's your spice.
Oh, no, that card seems bad right
now.
Well,
it's very boring, so...
Well, that's part of the reason it's bad. I don't know, it needs something,
something like Nexus of Fate, so you can just take infinite turns and basically tell your opponent to watch you jerk off.
I don't need that, though.
Yeah, well, that's what the deck is.
March of the Magnitudes. March of the Multitudes, I guess is how it's pronounced.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. It runs white.
Yeah, well, that's the... What about Azure? Ashore? Is that how you say that? Ashore? Ass symbol? Like you run 2 of those?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's a 2 mana, hybrid mana, green, white, instant, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, and it gets indestructible till the turn.
Okay.
Or for 6 mana, it makes 3 2/2 green, green and white creature tokens of vigilance for 6. So
I think you'd just be better with March of Multitudes.
You think? It's kind of like a green-white counter spell, and then also turns into 6 damage at instant speed if necessary. I don't know. And again, it needs something. Maybe a Dobin bond? I don't know. I'm fiddling with it, tweaking it here, tweaking it there. The real thing is I need to get the rest of the mana out of Arena, and I just can't seem to win yesterday. I lost every single game of Magic I played yesterday.
Sounds like something you would do.
It was awesome. But my head was trying to melt out of my ears, so I'm going to let it slide.
Maybe you should get a different bed.
Well, we replaced this bed not long ago, and I have my anti-migraine pillows, both of them. It's just, I had a really good, week and a half, basically, and then yesterday it was just oh, well, you had too many good days in a row. Suffer. Today's not bad again, but, yeah, it was rough yesterday. I did not get the mute button in time. I apologize for my bad wussy sneeze.
I forgive you. I was wondering what happened.
I was trying to sneeze without putting snot all over my keyboard and monitor and stuff. I was trying to hit the mute button and cover my mouth. But that's it. I don't got anything else. I don't have any deck lists. I don't have any upcoming tournaments, really. We may or may not have a standard tournament on Saturday. I don't know yet. When we wrote the schedule for the Arena and Magic events, we did not know that it was supposed to be a game day or whatever next weekend or this weekend. So I don't have anything on the calendar, and then I made plans, and now I have, again, one person wanting to know if we're going to have things. I don't care about Star City Game Regionals on March 9th. I don't care.
Sweet, where's that at?
Who cares?
Me?
Well, I'll forward you the Facebook post.
No, just tell me.
I don't know. I don't know.
Just read it to me.
I'm not gonna look it up right now. But it's
Quit being,
modern, so I don't
quit
care.
being a wuss.
I don't care.
Modern's the second best format.
Columbia, Missouri, according to Brandon
No,
again.
no one wants to go to
Get all
Missouri.
excited. Get all excited, Travis.
That's too far away for me to care.
It was too far away when he said Star City Game Regionals too.
Why? They're the good format of big tournaments.
No, it's too far.
They're the good
Having
format of big tournaments because they give you as much magic as humanly possible. Unlike Channel Fireball.
I mean, I don't know. I like all the coverages. I wish that more people would just realize that it's important to do coverage.
How many GPs have you watched this year?
This year?
Yeah.
None.
How many Star City Games events have you watched this year?
Also none.
So you really don't care about coverage unless.
I mean, the mood has to hit me. Like I have to.
So you
First of all,
don't care about coverage.
my weekends are really busy. Those are the days I get to get away from my computer. Right? From like Saturday to Sunday afternoon is my days to not be at this computer chair playing video games for people or streaming or working on podcasts or whatever. So I literally, you know how you spend all of your week doing other things,
No.
working or whatever outside of your house?
Yeah, like
my
a normal person.
my butt is like cemented to this chair most of the week, so it's like Velcro to get out of this chair.
Maybe you should get a better chair.
I love this chair. This chair is amazing. I would recommend this chair to anybody. This chair is I think it was like $400. And autonomous AI chairs, A plus 100%. Would recommend. In fact, if you want, I'll send you a thing and you can get $50 off this chair.
All right, so check this out. I got this nice fancy $15 chair. It folds up. It's perfect.
So this chair does everything except give you a back massage, basically. And I bet there's an addition for that. So like I flip this tabby, I can lay down, I can sit back up, I can sit anywhere in between. There's a button over here for different lumbar support. I can adjust the how firm or soft the butt cushion is. I can slide the chair in and out. I can lift the arms up, down, side to side, left, right, all over the place. It is the best chair. The only problem with this chair, and it's not even the chair's fault, but I bought the green one because it was like $30 cheaper. And I kind of wish they had a black one instead.
You lost me at 400.
It is an expensive chair, but you get what you buy into. Like other gaming chairs are more expensive even, and they're all leather and they don't breathe well. This is mesh, so it breathes great, but it's not like hard mesh. It's flat on this side, so it feels good. Oh man, I love it. You'll have to come over and sit in this chair sometime, Travis. You'll be converted.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Oh, this chair's so great. All right, well, if you're interested in getting a autonomous AI chair, the headset fully articulates up, down, left, right, all the buttons. Oh, so good. Send us an email at 2trollsbrew@gmail.com, and I will hook you up with a code. You can, of course, check out this episode and all other episodes at samusgrobo.com or, of course, MTG Cast, not MTGA Cast, MTG Cast. You can check out the Twitch page, twitch.tv/SamusGarobo or youtube.com/SamusGarobo for the video version of this podcast. Also, my Patreon is finally up and running. So if you'd like to support the podcast, patreon.com/Samus would be a really great place to do that. And I currently don't have like a tier for Magic players yet. So just if you're a Magic person and you're supporting because of Two Trolls, let me know. And then at some point, I'll kick some money towards Travis. as well.
Yeah.
Even though the deal was not that at all. Travis is
What'd I
supposed to do 8% of the work and get 0% of the profits, but now he does -4% of the work, and somehow he's talked himself into like 10% of the profits. I don't know what happened.
Wait, I'm getting profit?
As soon as there's profits to be had.
Nice. Man, I didn't even talk about this.
All right, so I want to end the show with this question that I actually found on Twitter the other day.
I believe it.
Yeah. And it's actually a 4-part question.
Oh, crap. I got to pay attention for 4 things. All right.
I'll break it down into individual sections here. So Brian David Marshall actually put this out. What was the first card you remember being excited about opening? So back in the way back, when you first were opening packs of Magic, what card were you excited to open?
Godo, Bandit Warlord.
That's a long time ago. That was Kamigawa, right?
Yep.
So I'm pretty sure for me it was either a Royal Assassin or like a Black Pump Knight, like Order of Lightbright. But I can't remember like why exactly I was excited for some of those things.
Okay.
I remember opening a lot of Ice Age packs, but I don't remember like I remember being excited for getting the packs, but I never remember like chasing a card outside of like Royal Assassin or stuff like that. So the first card you try to build your deck around.
Chittering Rats.
So Mirrodin?
Yes. So I started in Mirrodin like at the very tail end of Mirrodin. Like when every
We got some nasty lag
and
spike here. Try repeating that little bit of your story, Travis.
I said that when I first started, it was at the tail end of Mirrodin. So basically, when everybody was just completely tired of playing that whole block, and I saw Chittering Rats, and I built a deck around that.
Yeah, I mean it's fair.
It was like Chittering Rats, Ravenous Rats, Plague Rats.
I remember the deck actually. I think I remember you playing that. Again, for me, I think the ones that come to mind are Werebears, I think is what they're called. They're like these 2/2s for 2 that when you hit that tap for a green, but then when you hit threshold, they become 4s.
Yep.
I remember that.
I remember those guys.
I also remember using Ice Manipulator and Royal Assassin to like kill creatures. This was way back. This was like 94.
Yeah.
So, or 94, 95, like somewhere in those early high school days. So, like, that was the sweet tech. Now the question is, what card did you successfully build your first deck around or with? And again, that's where I would probably lean myself towards. Like, I had some moderate success, but I didn't play real tournaments until right around that same time you started playing Magic. And then I would say, like, I remember really having a lot of success with like Artbound Ravager.
Mm-hmm.
In our local game area, it was me and one other friend who like figured out that the Ravager deck was actually 5 colors, and like gave us the opportunity to do all sorts of crazy stuff that other people hadn't figured out yet. So we had a lot of success with that. How about you? Since I gave you a second to think about it.
Snake Shamans.
Oh yeah. Did you?
With the
I don't remember how much you were playing Magic then.
Generally once a week.
Yeah, but I don't remember you coming to tournaments then.
It was mainly just the weekends. Like
Yeah,
at that time, I was still doing Yu-Gi-Oh.
mm.
So it was like I'd play in between before I just completely quit playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
I don't know. I watched the people play Yu-Gi-Oh a couple of weeks ago, and I think because of that, I should be able to start my life total at 8,000. Yeah, I think that's so. Okay, so the card you love the most. I want to do this the other way around, though. I want to try to guess your most loved card.
Ooh, okay, but first I have to think about my most loved card.
I know that's part of the problem because when I start thinking about cards, I feel like my most loved card rotates a lot.
Yeah. Can we do like a top five?
We could. I mean, we don't. I mean, I'm not on a reels like heavy timetable today, but I want to. Again, I want to guess what I think your most loved card is.
All right, go for the top five because
Well,
it fluctuates.
I feel like Pat Grat should be in there
Yeah.
for sure. I feel like.
Yeah. There's one.
See what I mean? Though it's like I think I can get bits and pieces of them. Like trying to pick five, I'm not so sure I can get five, but I feel like Pat Grat. I feel like is it Borgaramos, whatever that big green red thing that you always.
Oh yeah, the one commander that people would stop playing against.
Yes, that guy.
Yeah,
I
so
feel
I
like
sold him for a ton of money.
I feel like it should be on your list. I feel like I don't know if it is or not, but I feel like Chandra should be on your list. 4-mana Chandra should be on your list, or maybe
So
6-mana Chandra.
6 mana, yeah, the one that made the elementals, she'd be up there, but 4 mana,
Oh, she's so good. Then I feel like if you had played earlier, Hypnotic Spectre would be on your short list. Like it's everything you love in a Magic card.
it is.
It like costs basically nothing. It has evasion, and it makes your opponent randomly discard a card.
Yep.
I feel like because you didn't play Magic at the time of Hypnotic Spectre, it wouldn't be your thing.
Right. I
Like
love the card. I love the art.
I feel like you have to put Lightning Bolt on the list because you got that red burn heart.
Yep.
Did I get how many have I guessed now?
I'm gonna give you 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, so Pack Rat, Baborgamos, Lightning Bolt, and 6 mana
Well,
Chandra.
then you got to start putting in like your terrible cards. So like your Tybalt. I'm trying to think what is in like another terrible card.
Oh come on, he's so useless.
I can't think of anything else off the top of my head.
It is the most useless card in Magic without a deck built around it.
I don't know.
The only thing that can kill it is Planeswalkers.
Oh, are you talking about the 2/1 Norin? Of course, I
Yeah.
forgot about Norin.
Oh, I love that guy. He's
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah, I should have thought about Norin earlier. That seems like a failure on my part. So
Yeah.
out of those, like that feels like your top 5 list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely my top 5. I think the only thing that would replace Chandra would be Perforos.
Perforos also make a lot of sense for you too.
Yeah. So really, you got uh, Lightning Bolt, red, Perforos, red, Norin, kind of red, Borborygnos, half red, Pack Rat. The one that the cheese that stands alone.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't know. Those all feel very Travisy to me. I feel like there are other Travisy type cards, like Nuisance Engine should be on your list, and a couple other things. But I think those all go together with the cards that You're not, you know what I mean, like the other cards.
Yeah.
All right, you think you can figure out any of mine?
Yes. See, you're on a completely different spectrum from me.
I am on a different spectrum. You are on this spectrum. I am on this spectrum.
Yeah. For you, the three cards that come to mind first, Mystic Snake,
I'll give you that one.
Wild Pair.
It took me a minute to get to that one also, but yes, I would agree. Wild Pair.
Tooth and Nail. Although I think that's more Remy than it is you, but you still.
I like Tooth and Nail well enough. I don't know if I'd put it in my top 5.
So those were the three that came to mind immediately.
The thing that makes it hard is I love every color of Magic.
You do. That's why I'm just like having such a difficult time. It's like you'll play every genre of Magic in Standard.
Yeah.
And our friendship of Magic has blocks just missing of Standard.
Well, that's why I had to like think really hard, not only about cards that I remember you talking about in the past.
Yeah.
Also like things that feel Travisy to me. So
right.
Like I said, yeah, he needs an irritating card in this for sure, so we should probably put Colt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I have one in particular I think that comes to mind after Mystic Snake.
Birds of Paradise?
Ooh, that's a good one I never thought of either. But no, probably not Birds of Paradise.
Because like for you, the primary color that you tend to gravitate towards is green.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because I feel like a Mardu player most of the time.
Well,
like when Snake is in the format, I really like a green deck. But when Snake is not in the format, I really like a Mardu deck.
Yeah, but also you have a very toolbox
I do like
play style, and green will get you that mana the easiest. So that's why I think personality-wise you gravitate towards green even if you don't play it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just can't think of. I got nothing.
So I put my list together.
Okay.
I think the two that you got, Mystic Snake and Wild Pair.
Yeah.
Those are like the first two I think of. And then I immediately go to Monastery Mentor.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Lightning Helix.
Okay.
And like Hymn to Turok.
I love him.
Like I pretty much instantly go to those.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not saying that I don't also like love some other cards. Like I played Kakusho for years. Right? I played Fist of the Sun for years. But I just at the end of the day, Monastery Mentor, I think, is probably the card that's closest to what I want. I want to be able to play my instants and sorceries and make my army of 1/1s and have my armies of 1/1s grow.
All right.
Or I want to play my 2/2 for 4 and say no spell for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's right on the fence. And honestly, if there was Monastery Mentor in Standard right now, it would be great because then I could pay my band things. I have Mystic Snake. I got Monastery Mentor. It's all good. I don't know. Anyway, that's my list. I thought that was fun. They've been putting together like this collage of 5 cards or whatever. I might try to do something like that. But I don't know. If you guys haven't seen this post yet by Top 8 Games, you should send him your list because I think it's a lot of fun. Gives you a minute to like go back in time and think about think about some of the things that used to get you really excited. And for me, it's like because I've played and I kind of quit or I totally quit, then I came back and then I quit again and stuff like that. I think it really kind of solidifies where I started playing Magic again. You know, like, Hymn to Turok when I first started playing. Mystic Snake when I kind of came back. Monastery Mentor, like, hit all my buttons. The same kind of thing with, like, Lightning Helix. Like, I like that burn, heal you thing. Like, it hits a lot of my flavors. So, I don't know. Think about it. I think when you take a minute to reminisce about things that you loved in the past, it gives you an idea of where you should be playing in the future. Like, especially when it comes to, like, right now when Standard is so open,
Burn.
what should you be looking at?
Well, there's not a rat deck, so burn.
There's a rat deck.
In Standard?
Sure. Why not? You can play as many of them as you want in your deck, and they get increased power.
Yeah.
And you can play blue, and you can make them unblockable.
All right. Fair.
Why not? There's all sorts of decks in Standard right now. The limit is yours.
The limit is limited.
All right, everybody. I think with that, I hope you guys have a great one. Travis?
Troll on, everybody.
Troll on, everybody.